The first part of the final season of Stranger Things has finally dropped after 3 years of waiting. Let me tell you guys, this season so far has been a lot of fun. I mean, there's definitely some things that I like to change, like the acting. Some of it's a little bad, but other than that, most of the season so far has been really good. I've liked the addition of some of the new characters, like Derek Turnbow, and we really thought he was going to be a bad character, but in my opinion, he was actually really good, pretty funny, pretty good to the overall episode that he was in. But before we get into the rest of this video, I'd like to address there will be spoilers ahead, because so if you haven't watched the new season yet, make sure to go watch that right now. Before you watch this video, then come back and watch this one. So let's get into it. So unlike the other seasons where there's build up in the first couple episodes before really getting into the action, you're thrown directly into it in the first episode, especially at the end when the Demogorgon attacks the Wheelers. Man, that scene was perfect. But, Ted walk him down Wheeler. He comes in with the golf club, man. I was so hype, honestly, even though we all knew what was going to happen to him. But overall, it was really funny. Then, of course, Karen Wheeler defending Holly, even though Holly does end up getting taken by that Demogorgon. These Demogorgons this season are on freaking like demon time, let me tell you. They freaking can teleport now, which is kind of like in season 1 when they went after Will originally. They kind of just also were able to create rifts, but they kind of did it through season 2 and 3 and 4, and then in 5 they can again make their own rifts, come out and just they go crazy, let me tell you. Will are getting taken just like Will basically. And then she ends up, going into the dreamscape, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But overall, just getting thrown right into the action. With the opening scene with William getting with Will in the Upside Down, getting attacked by the Demogorgon and having to escape, having to do parkour. Freaking Will was insane back in the Upside Down, being able to evade, and then finally getting captured, and Vecna possessing him and connecting him to the hive mind, which makes it really important. That's really important later on in the episodes, season 5 episode 4 specifically, when Will's big reveal happens. We'll get to that also in a minute. This season, Will is just really good compared to other seasons. They use him a lot more, and that's because of Will actually gaining his powers. Will has powers at the end of episode 4, which in my opinion is crazy. He uses the hive mind, which is he's using Vecna's powers through the hive mind. So they're technically not his. The Duffers did confirm this. They're not his. He's just kind of using Vecna's powers, which means if Vecna dies, he'll probably lose his powers too because of the hive mind. And we can see that he can now see through the eyes of a Demogorgon. I didn't know they had eyes to begin with, but Will can definitely see through the Demogorgon. He can see through Vecna, and he's already seen some stuff that is crazy, like where Holly's at, even though in Vecna's mind layer, even though we can't really see that. But Holly was taken, like I said, at the end of episode 1 in the beginning of episode 2, which results in her now being in a mindscape, a dreamscape, with Mr. What's-It, which is Henry Krill, which is Vecna, of course. I can't really tell if he's trying to actually protect her or setting her up, because she is in the Upside Down being used to whatever Vecna's big plan is, which I think is going to have to do something with the Mind Flare, but that's for a different video where I'll get into predictions. But so she's being used, but she's also in this dreamscape, which also houses one of the characters that we thought died at the end of season 4, which she did die technically, but she's in a coma now, which is Max. So we have Max in this dreamscape with Holly trying to solve how to get out of there. See, Max was in there and almost was able to escape, but she just decided to be slow. I'm being dead serious. If she would have freaking just ran a little faster, ran a little sooner, she would have been able to escape the dreamscape in the first place and be back in Hawkins fully conscious. But that's not what happened. She decided to take it in and be like, oh, I could escape, instead of actually escaping, which is crazy to me. But anyway, they go into that cave, which is the only place that Henry Creel Vecna is scared to enter. Like, he won't go in there. And that has to do something with, in the first Shadow play, the Russians actually put something in there that it's the first time he made contact with the Mind Flayer and how he got his powers originally in those caves in Nevada. Which is really crazy to me, how they're connecting the first play, the first Shadow play, to season 5, when most of us, including myself, haven't seen that. In my opinion, they should put it on Netflix, like just a recording of it, like they have a Shrek the Musical. Like, come on, put something that we're actually going to watch. You know, I would watch it. But yeah, so we see that, and then so basically, now that Max and Holly are teamed up, they're going to try and find a way out. There's a episode in the second volume called Escape from Camelot. That's when they're going to be escaping from the dreamscape. That's kind of like obvious right there. But yeah. Now we have some other characters this season that are really, really like heavy in the season. And I'd like to say that to Robin specifically. Robin this season had so much screen time. You know, she gives that little speech to Will, which he later uses to gain his powers and be able to use his powers to save Mike, Dustin, well, not Dustin, sorry, Mike, Lucas, and Robin, all at the same time when they're trying to help the kids escape the Demogorgons, which they do end up getting, but the kids. So I don't know what to say. I think she's probably gonna die. I'll be honest with you. But again, this video is not about predictions. But I'm pretty sure Robin isn't gonna make it out of the season alive. Then we had, like I said in the beginning of this video, Derek Turnbow, brand new character, but in my opinion, he's really funny. We all kind of doubted, the addition of a brand new character into the season. He's not going to have that big of a role, right? He does, but he doesn't. Okay, he does end up getting taken at the end of the first part when they're trying to escape the Demogorgons. When Will gets his powers and stuff, the Demogorgons are able to get a hold of Derek Turnbow and the rest of those kids that were with Mike. So we don't know what's going to happen there yet, but definitely something. They're all going to that place where Vecna is basically using them to create whatever he's trying to do. But I'm not going to get into that. Like I just said, that's for a different video. Anyway, I think it was insane this season. But Derek Turnbow, very funny character. He's had some really good one-liners. Somebody who hasn't had a lot of screen presence this season, and when she did, it was really good, was Erica. When she said, got them to eat the pie, then she stabs Tina in the neck with the syringe because she didn't eat the pie and she needed her to go to sleep so they could kidnap her. I thought that was pretty funny. And then, of course, there's Joyce this season, who, in my opinion, is a little useless. In other seasons, she's, all, like, really tied into it and, really useful. This season, not as much. And then we got Eleven and Hopper in the Upside Down trying to evade the base, which they do. And they find Callie at the end of it in the vault type room. To be honest with you, I don't like this at all. I thought Callie shouldn't have been in that season at all. Back when she was introduced in season 2, she had one episode, was mentioned one time during that episode. The rest of that time, I just don't think Callie deserves to be in the season like that. We'll see what they do with her, but with her, Eleven, of course, and now Will with powers, they're probably going to team up anyway to take down Vecna. But Vecna right now, I'm also going to say he's freaking amazing this season. His new design is awesome. I love it. But they're probably going to have Vecna have a redemption arc. Kind of like Darth Vader in Star Wars. I don't know how I feel about this, but we'll see. And then one thing this season though that I haven't liked a lot, some of the writing and acting. Some of these like jokes that they're trying to get out of, it's not working in my opinion. Like when Dustin's getting beat up, the one guy comes up to him and says, "Hiya." Like, bruh, that is the most corniest line I've ever heard in my entire life in a TV show almost. Especially when it's supposed to be taken serious in that specific situation. But like, that's it. And then I don't think the Duffers purposely did it, but there was a 6-7 joke inside of it. But that was before, the whole thing, probably when they wrote this and filmed it. So can't say anything about that. Other than that, I think most of the aspects of the season were really good. The visuals this season are really, really good. I just think that if the acting and writing was a little better, it would make everything a little better. One complaint, though, I also have. Another thing that I don't like too much about this season is the Dustin relationship with Steve. Dustin's kind of been rude all season for some reason. He's like really just ain't it, in my opinion, this season. And then we have the Jonathan and Steve fighting over Nancy. Oh my god, bro. That is the most annoying thing I've ever witnessed also in a TV show. Freaking how Steve and Jonathan, like even in the first episode, they're like running up the like trying to climb the radio tower as fast as possible to try and prove something to Nancy. I'm just there like, bro, this is so stupid. And then Jonathan wanting to propose to Nancy too. I don't like that idea. I think it's kind of pointless. It doesn't really do much for the story. I dislike it a lot. I hope that he doesn't actually get to do that. I mean, if he does, he does. But I'm still Team Stancy. I think Steve should be with Nancy, even though I don't think Nancy deserves anybody. Nancy's kind of just... ugh. But anyway, a character who hasn't been used a lot this season has been Murray. In past seasons, Murray, from season 2, he was pretty good in that season. Season 3, he was really good. I like him this season, but he's not like a top priority character. He's kind of that guy, who's bringing in the supplies, for these dungeon crawls that they're doing practically, where they're sending Hopper into the Upside Down to try and find Vecna. But I think that Murray needs a little bit better of a little more action in part 2, hopefully. He didn't get out of the truck when it did crash, like Robin did when all the kids were taken out of the back by the Demogorgon. So we don't know exactly what happened to Murray. I'm pretty sure he's fine, but we'll find out, of course, in part 2, which is on Christmas Eve, which is crazy long time away. It's really not. It's only 24 days away, but at the same time, it feels like forever because, like, for me, this is my favorite show ever, besides SpongeBob SquarePants. So can't wait for it to come out. Of course, we'll be binging all of those episodes on one night as well. I think there's 3 or 4. This volume had 4 episodes. And then the final episode is going to be released on New Year's Eve in theaters. I might go to theaters to see it. I think that'd be crazy. I think that'd be really good to see the ending of one of my favorite shows on the big screen. So, with that being said, that is my review on Stranger Things 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you like this video, because it is a new type of video, definitely needs a lot of work, I can already tell. I could do one with my predictions for part 2 and the finale. And I could also do one on the show I just almost finished watching, because not all the episodes are out yet. Welcome to Derry, which I'm very much enjoying that show right now. So without that being said, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one.